Final one is predictive modelling, data mining, which is, in many respects, almost like the heritage of SAS. That's what we've been doing for the last 30 years, data mining stuff. And a classic data mining project, what data mining is about improving response rates by identifying and targeting customers who are likely to do this, likely to achieve a target variable. Now, this is a classic data mining lift chart, which basically tells me that I can identify 30 to 40% of the customer base, and having identified the right 30 to 40% using data mining, I can achieve responses around 70 to 80% of everything that I could have achieved if I just chucked it all at everybody. Which to some people says, well, I'm missing out on people. But in reality, what happens is, you target 40%, and it's often a 40-80 split this way. You target 40% of all the people that you could do, and get 80% of all the responses you could get, you've just saved 60% of your money. And what do you do with 60% of your money? Well, current financial climate, you probably keep it. In a better financial climate, I would imagine you would reinvest it in further marketing and do the next round of 40 to 80. 40 drives 80. That's the classic one for predictive modelling. And just to give some flesh on the bone in terms of what the real value is of doing that, let's take a couple of examples here. You've got traditional marketing, just general selections of groups of people, this age range, they're married, going to send it out to them. Versus predictive modelling, that will go under the skin and understand who is most likely to respond. Taking a slightly extreme example just to prove a point. We start off with traditional marketing, we might target 10,000 example customers. With predictive modelling, you'll identify the top 1,000. If the cost per target is the same, then you spend $50,000 or $5,000. Apologies for the dollar sign there. Now, in the traditional approach, you will get more responses back. Yes, we all identified that. Maybe you get 237 responses back. It's a 2.37% response rate for a standard big split. Using the predictive modelling, you will get less, but it won't be proportionately less. Maybe there'll be 111, just as an example. Revenue per responder is the same. In actual fact, if you're good at your predictive marketing, you should be able to drive the revenue per responder up as well. But let's assume it is the same, which means that the total revenue, you get more money coming in through traditional marketing. But then you've spent more to get it as well. And at the end of the day, your response rate, which is what many marketers are measured by, so I don't know whether you are measured by improving response rates on your campaign, then yeah, clearly you're going to be in your manager's good books at that point. But also, you will actually make more profit. You won't get so much revenue, but you won't have spent nearly as much to get it on there. And that's really the line that matters. Now, predictive modelling is one of those subjects where I think both Dave and I have talked to many organisations, and a lot of organisations use SAS. It is the world's most popular software for predictive modelling. And they will use it to produce very high quality models that give you 100% accuracy in terms of their prediction. And for some situations, that is brilliant. Something like churn or credit risk or something like that, you have to get really accurate. For marketing cross and upsell, 80%, 90% accuracy is fine. Marketing is not an exact science. And there are too many people, frankly, I'm being perfectly honest, there are too many organisations I see that generate 10 models, each of which are 100% accurate. I'm going to show you an organisation, to Portugal in fact, that do over 100 models, not quite as accurate, but they don't half make a profit on it. So there are plenty of different types of predictive models that you will potentially need to drive value across the customer life cycle. Let's look at a couple of examples. Or analytics in general. Acquisition of new customers, yes, there is segmentation, as I've described previously, to help you identify those types of customers who you make most money from, and those are the targets for further acquisition. Or at least those are the targets for further acquisition at the loss-leading price, because you really want them. Product propensity, and also channel effectiveness models. There will be models that help you choose which channel typically segments will prefer. When you've got the customer, you can start building the customer value type models. And that's an important driver to say, I need to move that value up. There will be the classic product and channel response propensity models, times 100. Because you've got lots of different products and you use lots of different channels to promote those products. Credit payment risk, some of the more accurate ones come into there as well, because you don't want to be cross and upselling stuff that means that they owe you money and they're not going to pay you the money. And of course, the association analysis comes into next best offer at this point. Then you're moving into the world of retention, and there are different types of models come in. Attrition or retention or churn risk type models. Again, not so much customer value, but their lifetime value, which is a factor of their profitability and how long that profitability will last for. So that becomes a combination of customer value and attrition risk. Price sensitivity, because if you're trying to retain people, you will be doing that through price primarily. And sensitivity to price is an important factor. And customer satisfaction as an alert in the first place for retention. And finally, at the end, some models are again associated with same sort of thing in a way, the price sensitivity. How much are you going to have to spend in order to get their customer back again? Is it worth it given their lifetime value?